Because I was there. It didn't kick in. It didn't kick in. When the nurses came in and told you, can they talk to you about yourself? I'm like, no. Just go ahead and put it out there. When I was wrong. Yeah, and they said you had chlamydia. You love your 6 didn't kick in. They said we had to do a C-section. Guess what? You refused. You didn't want to mess with your little tattoo. Or you didn't want to get cut, right? Don't worry. Where your mama instincts was at then? Because you sat through that infected canal, right? You did. You did that. So, don't do that. When I encourage you, I keep asking you, leave me alone. You want to play with my children now, right? You play with my children. I'm talking about my grandbaby, like... And you know, it's crazy. We will never talk about Chrisean because he's special and we really love him. But yo, you are foul. You are foul and disgusting.
If you thought the Chrisean rock universe couldn't get any messier, congratulations, you were wrong. Because today's chaos doesn't just break the internet. It body slams it, drags it by the edges, and eats it straight into a reality TV volcano. Hazel just confirmed something so alarming about Baby Jr. that even the Kardashians would pause their billion-dollar drama machine and whisper, "Girl, what in the Lifetime movie is this?" And the way Chrisean reacted. Oh, buckle up. Because her response isn't just shocking, it's the kind of terrifying that makes horror movies look like bedtime stories. We're talking panic vibes, meltdown energy, and a reaction so intense it had the entire internet clutching their wigs like they were backstage at a Tyler Perry audition. This is one of those leaks that feels illegal to even hear. Like someone whispered a government secret into your ear at 3 a.m. Hazel didn't drop a statement, she dropped a B, and Chrisean didn't respond, she detonated a second explosion. If you thought Blueface drama was the final boss, no. This is the plot twist that turns the whole saga into a Netflix documentary titled Too Chaotic to Air. Stay right here, it gets darker, wilder, and absolutely unhinged from this point forward. Hazel didn't just drop a statement. She dropped a nuclear panic attack straight onto the timeline. People were scrolling peacefully, minding their business, and suddenly boom, Hazel casually mentions that Baby Jr. might have a serious brain issue. The internet froze harder than when Kris Jenner hears the word lawsuit. No warm-up, no warning. Just pure chaos delivered like an Amazon Prime package with same-day devastation. And the moment that news hit the ecosystem, fans immediately turned toward Chrisean rock because, let's be honest, nothing in this storyline ever happens quietly. Every update comes with explosions, screaming matches, leaked voice notes, or someone threatening to go live from a parking lot. So the world waited to see what Chrisean would say, expecting the usual spicy chaos, but absolutely nobody predicted the storm she unleashed this time. Chrisean's reaction wasn't just emotional, it was straight up terrifying. It felt like she went from 0 to 10,000 in under 10 seconds. Like someone had pressed a secret panic button in her soul. Her voice cracked, her tone snapped, and suddenly the entire internet felt like they were watching a real-time meltdown that they should probably not be witnessing without protective gear. It was the kind of response that made people whisper, "Oh, she's really scared," even though she tried to hide it behind tough talk. The wildest part is that the news didn't come from a doctor, a medical report, or even someone inside Chrisean's camp. It came from Hazel, the same Hazel who has turned beef into an Olympic sport. So when she's the one revealing medical info about Baby Jr., the timeline went into detective mode instantly. Because if Hazel knew this before Chrisean said anything herself, then somebody was leaking behind the scenes like a broken faucet dripping secrets. Fans immediately started piecing together clues like they were auditioning for a Netflix conspiracy documentary. Old videos resurfaced. Clips were slowed down. Medical words nobody could pronounce were suddenly trending like a new TikTok dance. Threads appeared explaining what the condition might be, each one scarier than the last. You could practically hear people gasping through their screens, trying to figure out how Hazel got her hands on this information before the baby's own mother publicly addressed it. As that panic snowballed, Chrisean's response only made things worse. She didn't deny it instantly. She didn't clarify anything calmly. Instead, she came in swinging with energy that could shatter bulletproof glass. People expected a controlled statement, maybe even a heartfelt message, but what they got instead was raw, frantic energy mixed with anger, fear, and denial all melting together into one giant emotional explosion. The timeline exploded instantly. Within minutes, people were saying Chrisean looked like she knew this was coming but didn't want the world to find out yet. Others claimed her reaction proved she was overwhelmed, exhausted, and trying to keep the situation private until she could understand it herself. And then there were the conspiracy theorists, who insisted this was all part of a bigger drama brewing between her and Blueface. With baby Junior caught in the middle like the chaotic mascot of an ongoing family war, it didn't help that Blueface's name automatically got dragged back into the equation, even though he's behind bars and physically nowhere near any of this. People swore they saw tension in Chrisean's reaction, the type of tension you only feel towards someone you're emotionally done with but still spiritually tethered to through years of chaos. Some even claimed her fear came from knowing Blueface would weaponize this entire situation the moment he got internet access again, which honestly wasn't a bad prediction. Hazel doubled down, of course, because when does she ever say something shocking and then walk it back? Never. Instead, she started implying that she knew more but wasn't saying everything. That one sentence alone sent everyone into pure meltdown mode. It was like dangling a cliffhanger in front of a million people who were already emotionally unstable from the drama. People begged, demanded, and threatened to stay online for 30 hours straight just to catch the next update. Meanwhile, Chrisean's social media pages turned into a battlefield. Some fans comforted her, sending messages of love and prayers. Others accused her of hiding things. Others straight up yelled about her parenting, because the internet loves throwing judgment like darts at a bar wall. But the scariest part was how emotional her responses sounded. Her voice shook. Her words stumbled. She kept defending herself with the desperation of someone drowning in rumors while trying to keep her baby safe. That's when the internet realized this wasn't typical Chrisean drama. This wasn't about Blueface cheating, or Carlissa going live, or a fight breaking out backstage at Zeus. This was about a baby, and emotions hit different when a child is involved. Suddenly the memes slowed down, the jokes paused, and even the people who normally laugh at every Chrisean and Blueface storyline found themselves watching with uncomfortable tension. Because this time, it wasn't entertainment. It felt real. Hazel kept dropping lines that made everything worse, like she was narrating a true crime episode. She claimed she heard the information from someone close to the situation. She hinted that doctors knew something serious. She said the truth always comes out, the type of phrase that feels like a threat, a warning, and a dramatic monologue all in one. And of course, people believed her because Hazel has built her entire persona on saying the quiet parts out loud. The wildest twist was how celebrities started reacting. Influencers posted cryptic messages about protecting the babies. Reality stars started subtweeting about mothers needing to step up. Even people who don't know. Chrisean personally suddenly had opinions. Because jumping into drama you're not part of is basically the national sport of social media. Every hour, a new celebrity voice joined the discussion, turning this situation from a rumor into a cultural moment. Through all that noise, Chrisean's fear remained the loudest element. You could hear it in the quiver of her voice, the quickness of her sentences, the way she kept repeating that Junior was fine, almost as if she was begging the world and herself to believe it. When she said, "Y'all don't know what I'm dealing with," it hit different. It felt like a confession disguised as a defense, the kind of line that sends shivers even when said casually. The tension didn't stop there. Old drama resurfaced. People brought up her pregnancy struggles, the hospital clips from months ago, the videos where Junior seemed tired or uncomfortable. Every frame, every angle, every moment suddenly became medical evidence for amateur internet doctors who somehow gained PhDs after watching to TikToks. And in the center of that storm stood Hazel and Chrisean Rock. One dropping shocking claims, the other unraveling under the weight of them. The entire internet could feel the story spiraling into something deeper, darker, and way more chaotic than anyone expected, just when everyone thought the situation couldn't spiral any further. The internet did what it does best: ignite itself like a grease fire in a microwave. Suddenly, every influencer, every gossip page, every YouTube commentator with a ring light and a microphone had something to say. And trust me, the takes were hotter than a Popeye's biscuit without water. This wasn't just drama anymore. It was a full-blown digital wildfire tearing through timelines with no intention of slowing down. Memes erupted within minutes. People were stitching clips of Chrisean crying with dramatic soundtracks, editing Hazel's voice over movie trailers, and dropping medical-themed jokes that only the internet could make trending. Someone even photoshopped Hazel onto a fake Grey's Anatomy poster with the caption "Chief of Leaking Information," and it went viral instantly. Because of course, when a child's health is at stake, the internet responds with memes instead of logic. Classic 2025 behavior. Classic 2025 behavior. Celebrities started chiming in like they were required by law to give their opinion. Summer Walker dropped a vague Instagram story about protecting innocent souls from chaos. Saucy Santana tweeted something shady about people who want attention so bad they'll diagnose somebody else's baby. Even Tokyo Toni popped up, because she always appears in drama like she's summoned by mess. Her rant alone had people crying, laughing, confused, and spiritually exhausted at the same time. But the biggest shock came when fans noticed that Chrisean's response started shifting. At first, she was furious. Then she was defensive. Then she became weirdly emotional in a way that didn't match her usual tough girl bravado. It was like watching someone stand on a high wire while holding their entire reputation in one hand and a crying baby in the other. The cracks in her voice, the way she kept talking fast, the sudden mood swings, people felt like they were watching someone unravel in real time. Meanwhile, Hazel continued pouring gasoline onto the fire like she had a sponsorship deal with chaos itself. She started going live more often, dropping cryptic hints like she was auditioning for a villain role on STUNS network. She kept saying she had receipts, but never showed them, which made people even more obsessed. Because nothing triggers the internet harder than somebody claiming they have evidence, but refusing to release it. It wasn't long before Blueface's name became the center of the conversation again. Fans dragged him back into the drama like he was responsible for every problem in the Western Hemisphere. People began saying he caused stress during the pregnancy. Others blamed his family. Some blamed karmic energy. And a few blamed toxic bloodlines like they were casting spells. The theories were so wild that even astrologers started weighing in about Jair's chaotic birth chart. Then something even bigger happened. Doctors started trending. Not real doctors, but TikTok nurses and random people who claimed they studied medical science for one semester. They were on live explaining brain scans, neurological concerns, and infant development, as if they were hosting a Discovery Channel special. Every time Hazel mentioned a new symptom, thousands of people rushed to Google like they were preparing for a medical exam they didn't sign up for. In the middle of all this chaos, Chrisean did something nobody expected. She went silent. For someone who usually posts every thought the moment it forms, the sudden quietness made the situation 10 times scarier. Fans started panicking, begging her to update them. Supporters thought she was overwhelmed. Haters said she was hiding. And the conspiracy theorists claimed she was meeting with lawyers about Hazel's unauthorized information leak. Because TikTok detectives never sleep, the silence broke hours later when Chrisean returned with a message that sent shockwaves across social media. Instead of a calm explanation, she came back breathing fire, accusing people of wishing negativity on her child, blaming energy vampires, and saying Junior was perfectly fine. But her aggression didn't convince the audience. If anything, it made them feel like she was pushing too hard, almost like someone trying to glue together a story that's already falling apart. Hazel, of course, didn't miss the opportunity to respond. She went right back on live, smiling like she had just hit jackpot levels of attention. She said she wasn't lying, insisted that she genuinely cared about Jair's health, and claimed her information came from someone who knew what they were talking about. The vagueness only made things worse. People started making whole PowerPoints about who her source might be: doctors, nurses, Chrisean's friends, someone from the Zeus crew, maybe even Carlissa lurking in the shadows. That's when Carlissa entered the chat unintentionally. Fans started tagging her, begging her to confirm or deny the situation. Because if anyone is willing to spill tea that burns through the pavement, it's Carlissa. But she didn't give a straightforward answer. Instead, she posted something cryptic about kids needing love, not chaos, which only fueled the flames. People decoded her message like it was a Bible verse. Some said she was calling out Hazel. Others said she was targeting Chrisean. Others insisted it was shade for Blueface. At this point, even NASA scientists couldn't have mapped out the drama. Meanwhile, Junior became the unfortunate symbol at the center of this socially fueled hurricane. Every post about him was dissected with surgical precision. People analyzed his facial expressions, his movements, his eyes opening and closing, trying to determine if he seemed healthy. It became a socially accepted obsession. Every video clip felt like a court exhibit. Every photo turned into medical evidence. The world was diagnosing a baby through pixels, and no one even realized how insane that was. And through it all, the emotional weight of Chrisean's reaction continued haunting the timeline. People kept replaying her earlier lives. They noticed the trembling in her hands. They heard the fear in her voice. And they started wondering if this situation was bigger than anyone expected. Theories about stress, postpartum emotions, and previous medical complications resurfaced. Even fan pages dedicated to supporting her started expressing concern instead of defending her aggressively like usual. The pressure on Hazel only escalated. People demanded she reveal her source. Some accused her of lying for clout. Others said she was genuinely worried. And a loud group insisted she was doing it for revenge, because the internet always assumed sabotage before concern. Hazel started posting screenshots of messages from fans claiming. They also noticed something off with Junior, which only pushed the conversation deeper into chaos. But here's where things took an unexpected twist. Doctors who actually knew what they were talking about started speaking up. Pediatric specialists made videos reminding the internet to stop playing medical detective. They said diagnosing an infant through Instagram videos was reckless and harmful. Their calm explanations stood in hilarious contrast to the loud, emotionally charged speculation happening everywhere else. It felt like watching a librarian walk into a nightclub fight with a clipboard. That calmness didn't last, because Hazel dropped another line that set off a brand new explosion. She said, "I didn't want to be the one to say it, but the truth is the truth." That one sentence turned mild concern into a digital riot. It sounded like a confession, a warning, and a threat all at once. People demanded she spill everything. They begged her to stop hinting. They threatened to unfollow her. They accused her of attention-seeking. But no matter what, they stayed glued to the drama like addicts who needed one more hit. And in the background of all this chaos, one chilling question kept growing louder. Why did Chrisean react the way she did? Was it fear, guilt, shock, anger, or was it something deeper that she wasn't ready to confront publicly? Every expression she made, every sentence she spoke, every pause in her voice became another clue in the internet's non-stop investigation. It was messy. It was heartbreaking. It was completely out of control. And it was only the beginning of the meltdown that was about to shake everything even harder. When the dust finally started settling, the internet realized they were standing in the ruins of a drama so explosive it made every Blueface scandal look like a kindergarten talent show. What began as a single comment from Hazel had now mutated into a full-blown digital catastrophe with consequences rippling through every corner of social media. The chaos didn't fade. It reshaped the entire narrative around Chrisean Rock, Baby Jr., and anyone even remotely connected to them. Chrisean's silence didn't calm fears, it magnified them. People began interpreting her every pause like it was a coded message, the kind celebrities give right before a PR crisis hits nationwide news. Any attempt she made to defend herself got swallowed by the tidal wave of speculation. Her reputation, already bruised from years of high-speed drama, found itself dangling on a thread thinner than the patience of Twitter on a Monday morning. Meanwhile, Hazel basked in the spotlight like she had just been crowned the queen of controversy at the Met Gala. Every time she spoke, a new storm erupted. Even people who didn't know who she was suddenly learned her entire life story because the algorithm was determined to shove her onto every screen. Supporters insisted she was brave for speaking up. Haters claimed she crossed a line. And the rest of the internet simply grabbed popcorn and prayed for one more update. Blueface also got dragged deeper into the mess, even though he didn't even have access to the outside world except through outdated prison tablets. Fans were convinced he'd eventually respond, accuse, blame, or somehow escalate the situation from behind bars. Entire threads predicted how he'd twist the narrative, clap back at Hazel, or guilt-trip Chrisean. The idea of Blueface finding out through inmate gossip only added fuel to the public's obsession. But it wasn't just the adults getting scrutinized. Baby Junior became the unwanted center of a million-person microscope. People debated his every movement like they were decoding hieroglyphics. Some said he looked tired. Others insisted he looked fine. A loud group claimed the truth was somewhere in the middle and demanded official answers like they were shareholders in this family saga. No matter how many videos Chrisean posted, the accusations didn't quiet down. Every clip became new evidence. Every update became new speculation. It was emotional, chaotic, and borderline disturbing. Chrisean tried to regain control by posting more frequently, but each post only intensified the backlash. People didn't want reassurance, they wanted confession, transparency, full disclosure. They wanted her to pull out medical charts and livestream the doctor's office. It was insane, but the crowd was relentless. Every time she said he's fine, thousands replied with "show us proof." As if motherhood required a broadcast license, that pressure finally pushed her into a darker emotional space. The confidence she usually carried started to crack in moments of frustration. Her voice wasn't as strong. Her energy dimmed. It felt like we were watching someone being pulled apart by the weight of millions of opinions crashing on top of her. Even her fans, the ones who normally fight to the death in her comment section, began expressing worrying instead of blind support. Hazel noticed the shift too, and she wasn't backing down. She doubled down again because of course she did, implying there were still things unsaid, still truths being buried. Every sentence she spoke felt like a stab at Chrisean's ego, and the internet devoured it greedily. Hazel knew exactly what she was doing, dangling mystery like a carrot. Knowing the audience was already hooked and starving for more, that's when the conversation turned toward responsibility. Who had it? Who lost it? And who abandoned it entirely? People started accusing Hazel of exploiting a child's health for attention. Others accused Chrisean of hiding information. A few even accused Zeus Network of staging all this chaos for ratings. The theories became so extreme that at one point someone claimed the government was involved, which is when the rest of the internet collectively screamed, "All right, calm down, Sherlock." Still, the emotional damage was already done. Every public moment Chrisean had shared of Junior was now being revisited under a harsh lens. People who once praised her for motherhood suddenly questioned her stability. The shift was brutal. It wasn't slow, it wasn't gentle. It was a full-force flip from support to suspicion, and it happened almost overnight. Public perception moved faster than truth ever could. And that's the real tragedy of the situation. Truth didn't matter anymore. The narrative had spun so far out of control that even if Chrisean came forward with a doctor holding a clipboard and a stethoscope, half the internet still wouldn't believe her. Once a rumor is loud enough, it becomes its own ecosystem. And this rumor had grown teeth, claws, wings, and a passport. On the other side, Hazel suddenly realized she wasn't untouchable either. People began questioning her motives. Old beefs resurfaced. Old scandals reappeared. Receipts from 5 years ago were reposted like fresh tea. The internet doesn't let anyone escape unscathed, not even the whistleblowers. Her credibility started wobbling, and that's when she tried defending herself with more lives that only made things murkier. While both sides fought their battles, fans began wondering what this meant for JR long term. Would the internet always see him as the baby from the drama? Would every milestone be overshadowed by this moment? Would every future video birthday parties, milestones, funny clips be dissected for medical signs by strangers who had no real stake in his life? That uncomfortable thought left even the messiest viewers quiet for a moment. Relationships began fracturing behind the scenes. People close to Chrisean went silent. Others unfollowed her. Some posted cryptic messages about protecting your peace and letting God handle the lies, even without confirmation. It felt like she was losing parts of her circle piece by piece. Meanwhile, Hazel's circle became louder, hyping her up while secretly using the attention to promote their own pages. The public also began reconsidering how much access they should have to celebrities' children. Some said Chrisean should stop posting Junior altogether. Others insisted she post more so they could verify he's okay. It was a bizarre tug-of-war where strangers felt entitled to control someone else's baby simply because they had grown emotionally addicted to the story. But the biggest emotional blow hit when Chrisean uploaded a late-night post that sounded like someone running out of breath. Her words were heavy. Her tone was defeated. She said she was tired of fighting the world and tired of people wishing bad on her child. It didn't sound like a rant anymore, it sounded like heartbreak. And suddenly the internet remembered she was human underneath the chaos. Yet even that moment of vulnerability wasn't enough to extinguish the drama. People argued whether she was being honest or dramatic, whether she was overwhelmed or avoiding transparency, whether Hazel was right or wrong. And the conversation kept spinning like a wheel powered by exhaustion, anger, and obsession. That's the thing about scandals. Once they go viral, they never truly end. They linger, they stain, they echo for months, years even. Hazel created a ripple effect that no apology could stop. Chrisean's reaction created an emotional wound the internet refused to let heal. And Junior, the innocent baby at the center of it all, became the symbol of a controversy that should have never been public in the first place. But this story isn't done. Not even close. Because every time these names appear together, chaos follows like a loyal pet. The backlash, the emotional fallout, the shifts in public perception, they're only setting the stage for the next round of drama that's already simmering beneath the surface. And when it blows again, the internet will be right there, refreshing their feed like they're watching the world's messiest soap opera unfold in real time. And if you made it this far, congratulations, you officially survived the emotional roller coaster that came with today's meltdown. You deserve a trophy, a vacation, and maybe even a therapist, because the amount of chaos we just unpacked could power an entire Zeus network season. Hazily lighting the match, Chrisean rock triggering the explosion. The internet fueling the wildfire. This was drama so intense it should have come with a warning label and a seatbelt before you run off to refresh Instagram for the next twist. Do yourself a favor and smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe like you're dodging Blueface's next scandal. And drop a comment telling me whose side you're on. Because this saga feels like the Avengers of toxicity, and I need to know who my audience is riding with before the next plot twist collapses the universe again. If you want updates the moment they break, and trust me, in this storyline they break faster than Chrisean's patience. Turn on notifications so hard your phone thinks it's being held hostage. We drop scandals, leaks, meltdowns, and viral breakdowns faster than Hollywood drops sequels nobody asked for. Around here, nothing stays quiet, nothing stays normal, and absolutely everything becomes entertainment. And remember, in the world of celebrity chaos, today's truth is tomorrow's deleted post. What's denied in the morning gets confirmed by midnight. Every feud mutates into a conspiracy. Every lib becomes evidence. And every whisper becomes headline news. So stick around, because this saga, oh, it's nowhere near finished. This is Scandal Spark, where the drama never sleeps, and honestly, neither should you. And honestly, neither should you.